What's up, everybody? It's me, your favorite little boy in the whole wide world, Ren with two N's. And I have played nearly every single Battle Royale game on the market, including the rotted carcass that is Radical Heights. And Apex Legends easily offers the best Battle Royale experience to date. And you know, I've always said that I love the idea of Battle Royale. I think it's perfect for a competitive little boy like me, but so far, none of the mainstream Battle Royale games have really been able to grab me. They're either too reliant on RNG, have little to no skill gap, have mechanics that I just don't find to be very fun, or have just been outright broken for years. And over the course of the couple hundred hours I've spent playing Battle Royale, I've discovered quite a few issues with the genre. But Apex Legends manages to fix nearly every single issue that I've had so far. Like, first and foremost, I feel that Apex is a game that actually somewhat values my skill. I've outplayed and outstrafed people who have better weapons than me simply because I'm a better player. I've wiped entire teams while using average or subpar weapons. I feel like Apex has one of the higher skill gaps out of all the other Battle Royales I've played. And it even rewards your skill by putting a bounty on your head if you were the best player in the last match, or by making you the kill leader if you have the most kills in the lobby, which also incentivizes more aggressive play. I mean, who wouldn't want to be the kill leader? Which in turn makes the pacing of each match feel a little bit faster. Now, you probably could argue that Fortnite has an equally high skill gap with its building mechanic, but Fortnite's aim assist on console is ridiculous. And I've always found the building to be rather dull. And while it does take skill to get good at the building aspect of the game, the fact that you can just plop a fortress down wherever you please means that you don't necessarily have to worry about positioning. Usually in a game like Fortnite, if I get killed mid-match, I get so pissed off that I need to take an Adderall just to calm down. Because it feels like the past 10 minutes or however long the match was just completely wasted. Every gun I scrounged up, every kill I acquired, is now just permanently gone. It all meant nothing. Part of the reasoning for my frustration is that I don't find Fortnite's gunplay to be all that great. You know, it's fine, it's serviceable, it's just not very satisfying, and I absolutely despise Bloom. And since I don't enjoy building, it means that the only satisfaction I can get out of Fortnite is through achieving victory. I've said before that being the sole survivor of a lobby full of 99 other players is always a wonderful feeling, no matter how terrible the game is. But Apex is the only Battle Royale that I don't get pissed off at if I don't win, partially because the gunplay feels so damn good. Gunning someone down feels like Christmas each and every time you do it. The movement is also spectacular. The sprinting, clambering, and sliding all feels so natural and intuitive. I love greasing down slopes, you know? You can even pop a healing item as you're sliding downhill, which means that you can stay mobile and heal at the same time. You can even manage your inventory while sliding or even sprinting, which can make you very efficient once you get used to it and use it correctly. But like I was saying, losing doesn't feel as bad in this game because there's a pretty good chance that I had a solid match. Usually I'll end a game with something like 5 kills or something like that, which means I got a few good plays under my belt. Woo! So when I do die, I have a couple of things to look back on and be proud of. If not, then at the very least, I more than likely still had fun just playing the game. And when I do die, it's pretty rare to be killed by some stupid RNG nonsense like in Blackout, when some shyster can waltz up behind me with a dead silence perk active, shoots me in the back, and since I couldn't hear him, I had no way of knowing he was behind me. Apex is also the only Battle Royale out there right now that actually has vertical audio, meaning that I can tell whether or not an enemy is above or below me. And I cannot express to you how important that is in a game like this, where your ears are your radar. I have no clue how a game like Fortnite, which, mind you, made well over $1 billion last year, has still somehow not even attempted to fix its terrible sound design in regards to verticality. So if you're on the 5th floor of a 10-story building in tilted towers, and there's 5 people above you and 3 people below you, there is absolutely no way of knowing where anyone is. It sounds like all these people are just right beside you. and it's just terrible design. But hey, you know, who needs good sound design when you can just pick up a pack of balloons and fly away like that little kid on the news? The ping system was a stroke of beauty. You can make a suggestion for your team to go somewhere. You can mark an enemy, you can mark a specific item for a teammate to pick up, and you can use it to ask for healing items.
I need help.
And it's all done with just one button. It's so simple and easy to use that it makes playing with randoms a lot more tolerable. And you know what? For the first time in a long while, I organically made new friends through this game. These two guys that I got matched up with were impressed with my performance, so they sent me a party invite. And after that, we went on to win the game and become champions. Then, you know, we sent each other friend requests, and we still play together every now and again. Compare that to Fortnite, where my teammates are usually 18 years younger than I am, which can make things pretty awkward, but if you try hard enough, you can still find things to talk about, despite the generational gap. Golden Nico, if a woman were to come up to you on the street and ask you how to insert a tampon, would you know how to do it?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Walk me through the steps. How's it done?
So you unwrap the tampon from the wrapping paper thingy that comes in.
Good first, good,
and then,
strong start.
Then you take the bigger end and you put it up your hole.
Yeah.
And then you squeeze the smaller part into the bigger part.
No, I think, no. There's a little like...
Well, you push the smaller end.
Yes.
And then it inserts the tampon into the
yes.
body.
Yeah.
And then you remove the packaging, the plastic.
Yeah.
And you are all set.
That is how it's done. I think we're gonna win this game. I think there's something about a quality game that just brings people together. I've had more positive experiences with randoms in Apex than I have with any other game over the past few years. I think it's because when everybody is having fun playing the video game, it just puts us all in a good mood. And at that point, we're just more likely to connect on some level, you know? But let's move on. I like the character selection. It's a neat little addition. You get to pick from this cast of characters that all have slightly different abilities. I really like Bloodhound because he can just instantly figure out where your enemies are. Wraith is a lot of fun too. The ability to just essentially become a ghost for a few seconds can really come in handy. And Bangalore's smoke canisters can confuse your enemy and make it real easy for you to revive your garbage teammates. And then there's Caustic, who is absolute garbage right now. His gas canisters do like 2 damage per second. Like, what's the point? The only character I haven't played yet is Mirage, who looks like he might honestly be one of my favorites. Bamboozling enemies with a decoy seems right up my alley. Because of the character selection, people have been comparing this game to Overwatch a lot, and I think that's somewhat of an inaccurate comparison. Because in Overwatch, every single character plays drastically different from one another. I mean, each character has its own unique weapon, height, and movement style. In Apex, the character differences aren't too game-changing. They are enough to stand out, and you can find somebody that molds into whatever playstyle you prefer, but the character differences aren't nearly as vast as Overwatch's. I think comparing the characters to Rainbow Six would be a little bit more accurate. The character system doesn't add a whole hell of a lot of depth to the game, but it definitely adds enough depth to keep each and every match feeling fresh. The UI is also really slick and easy to use. After you kill an enemy, you can just scroll through their gear and use your Destiny cursor to pick up their stuff faster, which is all I ever asked for, really. No more fumbling around with somebody's inventory like a loser in Blackout. And for the cherry on top, when you're looting in Apex, there's a little crossed out circle on items that you don't need. So, you don't have a shotgun? Well, then you don't need shotgun ammo. You've already got a purple shield? Well, then you definitely won't need this guy's blue shield. Knowing all of this information within an instant makes the act of looting much faster, which means that you can get back into the fight that much quicker, which increases the overall pacing of each match. It's a lovely system, but this game ain't perfect. It's far from it. It's got a few issues. Like, first of all, every now and again I'll get unlucky at the beginning of a match and I just won't find a gun. Classic Battle Royale, it's something I've always hated about this genre. but even then meleeing somebody is somewhat viable since the melee does a decent amount of damage. Or you can run away relatively easily since the movement is so good. I discovered this neat little move where you can slide through an open doorway and close the doors as you whiz past them. Just do that a few times and you can lose whoever is chasing you and maybe even find a gun along the way. But I almost always find a gun right off the bat. It's incredibly rare for me not to find a weapon at the start of a match. They put weapons all over the map, so no matter where you land, you got a pretty good chance of finding a gun. One of the other things I've always hated about Battle Royales is that the middle of some of these matches can become dreadfully uneventful. I call it the mid-game lull. In Fortnite or PUBG, you can run around for 10 or 15 minutes before finding somebody to fight. And that happens far too often in those games. And while that can still happen in Apex, it happens far less frequently. I've only had a very small handful of boring matches, which, as luck would have it, only happened to come along as I was streaming, of course. But matches like these are exceptionally rare, so I'm able to forgive the occasional slow-paced match when it does come along. The slick UI, incentivization for aggression, and fairly intuitive map design all coalesce to create much faster, more engaging matches when compared to other Battle Royale games. So far, my biggest gripe with Apex is that I've gotten shot at through walls quite a few times, which is one of my biggest pet peeves in video games. Now, it doesn't happen too often, and in some of these scenarios I was probably already dead anyway, but getting shot through a wall always feels so cheap. And there are times when people's footsteps just don't seem to make any sound at all. I thought I had downed him and I thought the other guy lived.
30 seconds until...
Oh no! I'm pretty sure that's a glitch, but it's happened to me way too many times, and I hope that at some point they address that. And the latest update they released seemed to break more of the game than it fixed, which I hope to God doesn't become a running theme. I would also like some more game types. I'd love some sort of solo mode. I don't always want to match up with randoms, you know? Duos would be nice too, and to be honest, I'm kind of shocked that this game didn't launch with solos or duos, but I'm certain that at some point these game types will come along. But even then, with its one and only game type, Apex already feels like a more complete experience than almost every single other Battle Royale game on the market. Apex has so much polish, and the game only launched a week and a half ago. It seems like Respawn Entertainment took a good look at every other Battle Royale game out there and took note of what works and what doesn't, and then filled in a lot of the gaps that were missing from this genre. Just little touches like having your characters talk add so much atmosphere and character to the overall experience. If Respawn Entertainment can manage to keep this game alive with quick updates, fun game modes, new maps, and cool new characters with decent abilities, I can see myself coming back to it relatively often. And you know, to be honest, I would rather have a Titanfall 3 than this game because I love Titanfall 2, but I'd like to think that if this does well, we have a stronger possibility of getting a Titanfall 3. And you know, typically I like to sit on a game for a couple of weeks before making a review on it so that I can get all my thoughts together, but like I said before, I've played every other Battle Royale game on the market, and none of them have given me nearly as much joy as Apex Legends has. And you know, it's entirely possible that at some point, after the slew of updates that this game will inevitably receive, that I might change my mind about the game, and this video will be woefully out of date. But for now, I'm really enjoying my time with this. The instant I picked it up, I knew that compared to the other games out there, it was special. And I can't wait to see how this game evolves in the months to come. It's definitely going to be interesting. And that's all I've got to say about Apex Legends for right now. It's nice to make a quick and easy video like this one every now and again. It's very relaxing, you know? And Far Cry Horizon Zero Dawn, or whatever it's called, just came out. So as soon as I'm done with this video, I gotta go and play that game. I'm more than likely going to review it, but no promises. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.